Welcome back to Reading Bear. Today, we'll take a look at some new Just Know HOA stories. And if you enjoyed my content, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and post some bear emojis in the comments. Let's go!
First one is titled, HOA got entire subdivision banned from pizza delivery. Disclaimer. I did not live in this HOA, but I did live down the street. Okay, so, we're gonna set the way back machine to circa 2000 on this one. Gas is cheap, cell phones were small, and my Ford Escort got amazing gas mileage. As the, now, ex-wife and I were struggling with our bills, she decided that the easiest thing, for her, was for me to get a second job to try to catch up and then get something into savings. Having seen the sign in the window of the local pizza shop which was named after a popular game played with small rectangular pieces that was advertising $12 to $16 per hour for drivers, that was a lie, she badgered me into applying. Fast forward a couple of months, and I have settled into my mind-numbing routine of working 60 to 70 hours a week at 2 jobs. On this particular day, I was scheduled to work on Saturday, which was hit or miss for tips. You see, our delivery area was very nouveau riche, combined with scattered groups of Florida rednecks. You would have a gated community with McMansions and BMWs right next to a trailer park. Oddly enough, the smaller the house and cheaper the car, the bigger the tip, which factors into the story. On this particular Saturday, a local HOA was throwing a pizza party for the residents. I think they were celebrating the last house being sold, or moving the HOA from the developer to the board, or something. Anyway, they ordered a ton of pizza. So much so that the manager had scheduled extra kitchen staff and had them show up an hour early just for this one order. He even gave them a discount on the pizza, since they ordered so much. There were so many pies that it took myself and another driver 2 trips apiece to deliver it all. When we got the last boxes of pizza delivered, the manager wrote a check for the total. Couple $100 and change. Rounded up to the next dollar for our tip. So, I left, and went back to the store. The manager asked me how much of a tip that I got, to which I replied, 87 cents. He didn't believe me, so I showed him the check. He then asked me if I was messing with him, and if they had given me a cash tip. Nope. He went off. He walked over to the phone, called the manager of the HOA, cussed her out for not tipping his drivers, after he had discounted the order and scheduled extra staff just for her order, and told her that he was entering that entire subdivision into the computer as, do not deliver. He then hung up, opened the cash register, and gave each of us a $20 bill for a tip. To this day, I have no idea if any of the residents were ever able to order from that store. Next one is titled, HOA doesn't seem to learn. To start, this is a story about the aunt of a friend of mine. I've been to her home and seen the mess that seems to come out of this, as it's an amusing situation. I did get permission to post this though. For the backstory, the aunt and her husband inherited the house right after they'd married from her husband's grandfather, who died before the wedding. Then, they moved in, I believe in the early 70s. It was a large farm that her husband used for horses, with the larger fields being rented off to a neighboring farm for use and handling the hay fields for them. They got a small amount of money from it and hay for the horses that they didn't need to get together. 2 things happened that led to the next step. The neighboring farm went out of business. One of the owners had a stroke and they moved to Florida, closing it for a retirement, and the aunt's husband died of cancer. At the same time, there were businesses and more moving nearby, so she wasn't that surprised when a developer approached her to try buying the property. She didn't entirely end up selling, but sold most of it and getting a deal that reduced what she'd get for it, but gave some pretty good perks. The first was the basics, that they'd get the sewage and other utilities and roads hooked up. At the time they'd had a septic system and well water. She still has well water because those rights remained with her. But the big thing was that she would have free access to any shared, common areas and assets the community would have with their planned HOA stuff, namely the parks and pools, along with the golf course they'd planned perpetually. The HOA would have no control over her property, and she would have a non-voting, advisory position on the board. He hasn't really bothered other than to pop up when they attempt to give her violations. Those agreements would also pass on to her heirs if it was inherited or to those she sold it to. If she was foreclosed on, the HOA could buy the property and bring it in if they wanted, but that wasn't something that ever happened as of yet. She's still there now. That was part of the contract, and it wasn't until after the developers left and turned the HOA over to the residents that issues started, though that was a couple years later. My friend and his sister moved in with their aunt for a while due to one parent being military and the other being a nurse on a 2 days off to 1 day on schedule. Their mother moved in with the aunt as well, but that schedule was not one they saw her all that often, and the sister was obsessed with the plastic flamingos they'd seen on a vacation, so the aunt bought a couple and put them in one of her gardens. And 3 days later, the HOA decided to send her a violation for it, thus starting the mess that the aunt seems to enjoy egging on. They have no rights to force the issue, and can't really do anything to her. She likes to make their disagreements and pushes buttons. Last I visited, there were a few hundred flamingos and a veritable army of lawn gnomes surrounding the house, with a barn, a workshop, and garage on an island-like hill in the center of what looks like a cookie-cutter subdivision. But it seems like part of the HOA is in on the joke, and whenever there's a new election someone gets the bright idea to try enforcing the rules, only for more things to pop up. Next one with update is titled, HOA Harassment but we are not members of the HOA, Texas. Our home was built before the HOA was created and the owners did not wish to become members. When we purchased the house, the HOA sent us a letter asking us to join and we declined. This is not the first violation letter we have received, but every time we get a new one my husband gets more and more upset. In this current letter they are threatening to issue a deed restriction violation if we don't repair a broken fence post. I understand it's a simple fix, but that's not the point. Do they have any legal right to do so? What, if anything, can we do to get them to leave us be? ETA. We've lived here for 4 years and have never paid dues or been sent any letters requesting that we do so. Update. I spoke with someone over the phone and they confirmed we are not members. However, they were contacting us on behalf of our neighborhood Civic Improvement Association, which is apparently different from the HOA. After looking over the closing documents for the house, one of the pages that was signed was an agreement to keep the property up to standards set by this other company. So the HOA can hold us liable if we do not keep our lawn mowed or fence fixed, but they can't issue citations for things like a flag on the front of the house or "Beware of dog" signs on our fence. Next one with update is titled, Found someone else inside my apartment. Landlord-tenant housing, Riverside, California. I left my apartment in March 2020 due to the pandemic. From March 2020 until now, I have been paying my rent, as I have personal belongings that I was unable to bring with me during that time. Today, I went back to Riverside to clear out some items and begin packing them to bring back home, but I found the lights on and saw someone else inside the apartment. When trying to unlock my door, my key did not fit. I had never received prior information from anyone associated with the apartment, and my lease expires this upcoming June. What is my best course of action? Update. The maintenance wasn't able to get in with their key, so I figured that someone had broken in and changed the lock on their own. After calling the police, the individual residing inside left. The property manager, police officer, and I walked through and saw that the squatter had absolutely trashed my place. I found a metal pan with residue on my stove, possibly cooking, and other drug paraphernalia, crack pipe. He had stolen nearly all of my possessions and punched holes in the walls. I filed a police report and took a video documenting the wreckage. After I get home, I'll be sure to file a claim with my renter's insurance. I'd like to thank everyone who offered advice. Next one is titled, Removes Grass, Replaces with Mulch and Thorns. First time long time. Keep it short. Live in a condo community in Southern California. We had a small 20 square feet grass, front lawn, directly outside my front door. HOA decides it was too difficult to maintain and replaces it entirely with mulch, atop dirt, and thorn bushes. Our dog and neighboring dogs utilized it as the other grass is open space, and we have coyotes. We also have a newborn that we plan to enjoy time on the grass with eventually. We were told by property manager to attend board meeting and that he has no say. Attended board meeting, they simply refused to replace the grass and couldn't care less about our opinion on the matter. 1. We pay over $3,500 annual in HOA fees and have no say in the landscaping directly outside our home. 2. Community landscaping very well done, dozens of alternative options to reduce water, additional expenses outside of removing the front lawn. 3. They claim grass never grew well there, same everywhere. Not amazing in front of my home but not bad enough to remove completely. Curious if there are any methods to get the HOA to replant grass that I have yet to think of, or even petty revenge tactics. My biggest concern is the home value impact. We purchased the condo 2 years ago for $550,000. Duck, California. There is no way our home is now equivalent to an identical model in our neighborhood that has grass in front whereas we have a pile of mulch. Any lawsuit potential for the home value reduction? My little bro is in law school but he must be failing as he was no help. Don't think we are asking for much, just a little patch of grass that used to bring us joy and utility that has since been taken away without us having any say in the matter. Icing on the cake. Board member, Jerry, told us not to worry. They will not touch the greenbelt behind our homes. What the duck? You mean the 5-foot strip of grass that runs between my house and the hillside, that not one person sees or a walk-on is your priority? You literally cannot see it unless you're standing on it, yet my front yard gets screwed. Edit. For those who thought I was blaming my younger brother, it was a poorly executed joke apparently. I'm obviously not blaming my 22-year-old brother for the removal of my grass. Last one with update titled, Fake HOA Pretending They're Real. Last month my wife and I, newly married, moved into a community that had no HOA listed. We are both the DIY types and take care of our own property. Part of the reason we picked our house is it had a large corner backyard with RV parking on the side, a fair amount of workspace. The community was also in great condition considering no HOA was involved. 1 week in, we started redoing the kitchen cabinets. They were from the 70s and we wanted a more hardwood instead of the cheap wood that was installed. I'd say the saw was on for 5 minutes when one of the neighbors came up to say it's against HOA rules to do DIY improvements on my home. I obviously wondered what he was talking about as I made absolutely sure there was no HOA before signing and moving in. He replied that they have a community HOA that would be in our best interest to join. I obviously said no and went back to my saw. An hour later the guy is back with a woman in business attire to hand me the rules, and to have me sign the acknowledgement entry papers. Also to retain my $289 per meter fee. Once again I explained I'm not interested nor do I care about their club. I see no reason to abide by their rules. I simply stated that I will keep my property maintained and that's all they need to know. She gave me a few choice words and left. I thought all was done, but after being in this sub for a while I knew it might have been short-lived. Today I received a fine for a leaky sprinkler. It leaks for all of 5 minutes past the timer at 4 a.m. One of these prunes has been watching my house at 4 a.m. I'm up at all hours of the day for work so I was able to check. I know this is just the beginning. Important info. The HOA has not registered at least from what I can find. The BOD's members' names and signatures are listed in the back of the rules book. I've already started the paper trail just in case it gets worse but would gladly take some advice for future dealings with this fake HOA edit. More info. I'm in CA. The cost of HOAs can go much higher than $289 per meter. I've been noticing also that there isn't really anything for the HOA to maintain here. No pool, mainly cemented surfaces, the sidewalks have minor cracks and the road hasn't been paved in at least 5 years. I'm wondering where the money from the 50+ homes here are going to. Well, the ones that joined anyways. Update. Because I've been lucky enough to have a slow day. I called my brother and he is bringing over a signed cease and desist to be dated at my leisure. I'll hand it over during their next meeting. As recommended, by a few in the comments, I will not be going to their cult meeting. I've checked my driveway cameras and didn't see anyone at all. I expected at least a dog walker but I saw nothing. Both my wife and I read Reddit and she wrote down contact numbers for various agencies, IRS and such. I hope it doesn't come to that. P.S. She said no to the mural, but she'll let me drive my Mustang with a giant teddy bear as a passenger update. I've received plenty of mail and comments asking for an update. Come on, it's been just over 2 weeks. I work 6 days a week. Anyways, what I've come across so far. This is currently my wife's project as she is furloughed and I'm usually working 70 hours a week or more. I sent the cease and desist to their listed HOA president and have so far received nada. I have had the same neighbor bothering me about noises and HOA rules blah blah blah. I've just been ignoring him on my Sundays. What may make a dent in this post though is that the fake HOA is a real HOA, it just doesn't have my or my block's homes included in its division. So I live along a main street. Houses that are stretched along the street nearest to the division signs and entrances. The city recognizes us as part of that division but our homes were built back in the late 50s long before the HOA was ever created, so our homes, 9, along the main street outside the division are not included in the HOA charter. The HOA can accept us into their HOA but only as a voluntary resident in their division, hence the neighbors' harassment. The only one that I've talked to in our 9 homes to join was that one neighbor. The pricing was said to me wrong. It was $200 for me to join as a standard fee. Why I would pay to join what I don't want to is beyond me. And then $89 per monthly. It is more reasonable but I'm not interested in joining a community cult. My wife did make a report with the IRS but she hasn't heard anything back from them. Since they are a real HOA they're likely up to date on their taxes, but my wife is thinking that if they're trying to bring our homes into their HOA that are not originally listed on the HOA registry that they may not be paying the dues for the home that they brought into the HOA. Possibly a quick update on that later. Anyways, that's all she's got for now. Thanks for listening.